The vast, unforgiving Alaskan wilderness bore witness to another tragedy on September 15, 2024. A Cessna 207 aircraft, en route to St. Mary's, Alaska, crashed under still unclear circumstances. The crash claimed the lives of all 4 individuals on board, casting a somber shadow over the remote community. The incident, a stark reminder of the inherent risks associated with aviation in such challenging terrain, sent shockwaves through Alaska. The crash site, located near St. Mary's, presented a difficult recovery operation for authorities. As news of the crash spread, questions arose about the cause of this latest tragedy to strike the Alaskan skies. The National Transportation Safety Board, the agency responsible for investigating civil aviation accidents in the United States, immediately launched an investigation. Their team of experts began the arduous task of piecing together the events that led to the crash, seeking answers amidst the wreckage. The ill-fated aircraft, a Cessna 207, was owned and operated by Ute Commuter Service, a company well regarded for its services in the region. The plane, a familiar sight in the Alaskan skies, was typically used for passenger and cargo transport. On this particular day, however, the flight was not a routine commercial operation. Instead, the Cessna 207 was engaged in a private flight, operating under what's known as Part 91 regulations. These regulations govern private aviation operations, offering more flexibility than commercial flights, but also placing more responsibility on the pilot in command. The flight, originating from Bethel, Alaska, was intended as a personal trip for the 4 individuals on board. The purpose of their journey was a familiar one in Alaska, a moose hunting expedition. Such trips are a common pursuit in the state, drawing outdoor enthusiasts to the vast wilderness. However, this routine adventure would take a tragic turn, ending in a remote corner of Alaska. The crash claimed the lives of 4 individuals, each connected to the world of aviation and drawn together by their shared passion for Alaska's wild beauty. The pilot, 34-year-old Scott Grillian, was a resident of Chugiak, Alaska. Grillian, the assistant chief pilot for Ute Commuter Service, possessed significant experience navigating the challenging Alaskan airspace. Joining him on the flight were 3 passengers, all with their own ties to aviation and the outdoors. Mario Gioiello, a 23-year-old from Ohio, and Caleb Swartzel, a 25-year-old from South Carolina, were both pilots themselves. The final passenger, 44-year-old Benjamin Sweeney from Sterling, Alaska, completed the group. Their shared passion for hunting and the allure of the Alaskan wilderness had brought them together for this ill-fated trip. Their deaths sent ripples of grief through their families, friends, and the aviation community. Their loss served as a poignant reminder of the ever-present risks associated with venturing into Alaska's untamed beauty. Section 4. Unraveling the circumstances, flight details, and regulations. In the aftermath of the crash, investigators began piecing together the flight details, hoping to uncover clues that might explain the tragedy. The Cessna 207 was operating under Special Visual Flight Rules, or SVFR, due to the weather conditions at the time. SVFR flights require pilots to have sufficient visibility to navigate visually, relying less on instruments. This decision to operate under SVFR would become a focal point of the investigation. Furthermore, reports indicated that the pilot had received SVFR clearance but had not canceled it upon landing. This oversight triggered a search when the plane failed to arrive at its destination as expected. Adding to the complexity, the Cessna 207 was not authorized for charter operations at the time of the crash. This was due to the aircraft exceeding the required engine maintenance hours stipulated for such operations. However, it was reported that using the aircraft for training purposes, as was seemingly the case in this instance, was a common practice. Section 5. Weather's unforgiving grip, a contributing factor? As investigators delved into the circumstances surrounding the crash, the role of weather emerged as a potential factor. Reports from the day of the crash indicated light rain, mist, and variable visibility around 2.5 miles in the area. These conditions, while not extreme, could have posed challenges for a flight operating under Special Visual Flight Rules. Adding weight to this theory, another Ute Commuter Service plane, scheduled to fly a similar route earlier that day, had turned back due to poor visibility and fog. This decision highlighted the challenging and rapidly changing weather conditions that pilots in the region often face. Whether these weather conditions played a direct role in the crash remained under investigation. The NTSB, in their pursuit of answers, would examine meteorological data, pilot decisions, and other factors to determine the extent to which weather